Americans and AMP Live. Yeah, I'm not standing up today, so today I'm on my keister. Um, we're going to share some stuff with you today. We're going to talk about how to find these sub-2 deals, where they're at, how to work them, where you can find them. I'm going to be sharing my screen. So this should be in the Facebook group only exclusively. There's two Facebook groups. This one that it's in right now is the Creative Real Estate Investment Group. You can also go here and register for the Sub2 Facebook group. Scan that QR code. There'll be another one that's going to come up a little bit later on. If you're wanting to get involved and jump aboard and work with us exclusively and get in touch with us and pick our brains and all that good stuff. But we're going to get into some training. So this training is going to be in the Facebook group. I'm going to be your host today. My name is Eric from AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and AMP Live, the American Mentee Program. And basically today it's Tuesday. Tuesday is a sales and field day. So hopefully you're out there either talking to sellers, working with sellers, buyers, investors, or whatever you're doing in your business. Hopefully it's rocking and rolling for you. For whatever reason, if it's not rocking and rolling for you, you need to watch this, join the Facebook group, join us, because that's our cause and mission. Our cause and mission is to help our fellow Americans across the United States of America. One-on-one, yes, one-on-one mentoring is what we do. I know it's crazy. I get several conversations with different people, different aspects of what we should be doing and how we do it. But I guess this mission started back in 2003 and then the crash and then 2010. And here we are, 2023, believe it or not. We're still here rocking and rolling, moving forward, doing what's in our heart and our passion. And hopefully you're following your dreams and aspirations as well. If you see this, watch it all the way through because I'm going to drop some awesome bombs on you, some education bombs, some sub-2 stuff, some wholesale stuff, seller finance, lease options, because the market is shifting and changing. So guess what? That seller finance stuff it seems appealing to some of the sellers and the investors that are out there, as well as buyers, right? And these sellers are willing to say, look, if I got to do this to get more money out of my property, this might be my best bet. There's some people out there, I always call it the stew analogy, right? And I want to go off on a tangent, but let me get the, house cleaning lined out. First and foremost, I got some stuff I'm going to pull up. I'm going to share there is a cool website that's out. I believe it's by Jerry Norton. He has a free platform. So there's no excuse, right? You get PropStream is good. I like all their data resources or their data fields. They got more than what Batch does. If Batch works for you, then go for it. There's a Privy. Privy's it's more geared towards like the MLS and going after on-market deals. So there's a place for all these different platforms, depending on where you want to do and what you want to do with real estate, right? And yes, it all works with the traditional real estate as well, right? Agents, brokers, investors, across the board. So check this out. There's going to be some stuff down here. There should be some links. Join the Facebook group. If you're watching this, it's probably because you are in a Facebook group. If you're not, that's okay. Click the link, join the Facebook groups. A lot of these trainings will go in there until I decide to remove them or have them removed. And then you can go watch them. If you come aboard and you work with us exclusively, you get access to all these videos and things of that nature for the next 12 months or so, or forever, how long you are mentee with us, okay? Now check this out. This is some nice juicy coffee. I made this today. It has some like espresso, and I'm not sure what type of coffee, but there's some type of crushed up beans or some shit. Anyways, so I'm going to get fired up on that. Did a little bit of something earlier today. We're out in the field, obviously. So I know you don't see the background. It's a little bit different. So, but we'll be going back and forth, with the undisclosed location, which is the studio where I do all the stuff through AMP Live Media and VIP Execs as our sponsors. And anybody else who wants to decide to sponsor and get their name out there, definitely reach out. Or if you need somebody to speak at your event or podcast, all that good stuff, ask PM or something down there and someone will get in touch with you, and then I'll get in touch with you. At the same token, get prepared, turn off your phones and all that other good stuff, and let's rock and roll. We're going to get into it, okay? I'm going to talk about sub-2. I'm going to talk about where you can find these deals, how you can find these deals, where they're at, how to work them, how to pretty much underwrite them. We're not going to go that deep into it, but it's going to be easy peasy, kind of like if you started off as a bird dog or a wholesale, you're going to understand some of this stuff, right? That's usually the natural progression. Or transgression or progression should be not transgression, but progression into real estate. bird dog, then you become a wholesaler, and then you get into fix, flip, buy, and hold. Then eventually you start getting into creative stuff because you want to buy more with less money. You can only buy so many deals when we're going the traditional route through conventional. FHA can only get your first one down. Then you start going, man, I got to start doing this creative stuff. Maybe it's seller finance or lease options or sub-to. I always say this, my pet peeve is sub-to and seller finance, two different things. You don't always have to say, look, this is what I'm looking for just for sub-to. You can if you're just going for that. If you're just going for short sales, if you're just going for pre-foreclosures, if you're going for fix and flips, yeah, you can niche down your data. If you niche down your data and just go after that, then yeah, the more problems, the better. The more issues, the better. The more you can do to make some more money because you're offering more on the solutions, right? You're providing more solutions for an end seller and creating some solutions for buyers and investors because they're going, shit, all right, I can make more money. I can double, triple dip on some of these deals while you're going through this process and still be able to sleep at night because you're doing it right. You're doing it correctly. I won't ever get anybody or myself into something that doesn't make sense. Now, it can happen to anyone, but the devil's in the details. So you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Okay, not everything is 70 cents minus the repairs and all that good stuff, and hopefully you're doing your repairs right and all that good stuff. But let's get into it. I'm going to show a couple of screens here. So I'll be today's the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Amplify the art of the deal. I'm Erick AHA. I'll be your host. We're going to rock and roll and get into some of this where I'm actually going to share my screen. I don't do that a lot. But today we're going to go ahead and do that, okay? So go here, right there, register for the Sub-to Facebook group. It should be here, but I think this one's it. I'm going to go right there. It's going to be for the Facebook group. And then we'll get into a little bit of one-on-one. Boom. If you want to get some information on one-on-one, you can scan that or go down below and fill out that Amp Live survey. Saturday, we got some awesome training that's going to be going on. We're going to be talking about how to break down deals because there's so many different deals that are coming down the wire where you can, if you have the right exit strategy and you understand the right exit strategy, but what you don't know is what you don't know. So if you don't understand some of these exit strategies, you don't understand seller finance, lease options, rent to own, sub-to, any of that stuff, then you're not going to, you're just like, well, what do I do? You're going to have to go through the process. Yes, right? Educate yourself, study. YouTube University, TikTok, and all that good stuff will only get you so far. It's best to find a coach or a mentor or somebody that's in the business or a company that's in the business. Go after them. Or if you like what's transpiring here and you like what we do, we're always looking for great people throughout the United States of America, but it is a selection process for the one-on-one. The other one is coaching with a little bit of, interactive mentoring. And we like to work it where to see who's going to rise to the top, right? The rock and rollers rise to the top. And if they rise to the top and they show up and they're actually saying, man, always asking questions, this is what I need. Can you help me out with this, that, this is what I got. And they're bringing stuff to the table. Then we're going to work with them exclusively because it doesn't really work too good when you're working. You can't force somebody to do something, right? You can't lead a horse to water and have them drink. Not calling you a horse, but it's just a metaphor, right? Or anybody out there, even myself, right? I've done it in the past too, right? Where there's people that were mentors to say, hey, you should do this, this, and that. And I didn't do it. And even though I was hungry and I wanted certain things, my mindset wasn't there. All I saw was trees, trees, trees. I didn't see the forest through the trees because they knew what I didn't know and I should have listened. And sometimes that happens, right? It happens when you're stubborn. So don't be stubborn. Have an open mind. Suck down that coffee real quick. Hopefully you're doing good. I'm going to go ahead and let me see what I got here. I think there's a chat thingy here. I'm not sure how I can make this work. So this is going to be laid back. It's going to be cheesy. Yeah, it's going to be cheesy and easy and peasy. Let me go ahead and do this rock and roll. Make some comments down below. Do the loves and the hearts and all that good stuff. If you watch this video, and if you like the content, share it. If you want to reach out and do some business together, then share it as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Here we go. Now tap into this. This is free, right? It's PropWire. You can go to PropStream. It's $97. You can go to Batch. I think it's $97, $59. They got some new ones that are coming out as well. And then they have what other ones they got? There's tons of them out there. They're anywhere from $49 to $97 to $112 to $120. I believe there was one called Property Radar. They actually went up in price. I'm not sure how good their data is. It used to be pretty good, but they got kind of blown out of the market because they only had offered 5 or 6 states, and their data was pretty awesome, but they tried to lock all their shit up, so they end up losing a lot of customers while PropStream was coming down. Sure, go ahead. you can export 10,000 records, right? Skip tracing became a thing, all that good stuff. So the last cycle, it is what it is. You gotta adjust, adapt, or you will perish. Or adjust, adapt, and then you got to reorganize and keep on moving forward, and rock and roll is what you got to do. Especially in real estate, as it's always changing. It's a cyclical business. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. Corpus Christi, right? So for shits and giggles, we're going to tap into Texas. We got mentees throughout the United States of America. So all the past, present, future, you know who you are. Thank you. At the end of the day, as well. Keep on rocking around and moving forward. You know who you are. If you watch this, if you've seen this, or if you watch this video anywhere down the road, this is monetized. It's being streamed in different, should be the Facebook groups, and probably, I know we do YouTube and Twitter and any other platform we can tap into. So take a look at it and definitely share it. So here we go. Corpus Christi. We got a young man out in Texas. There's several people out in Texas we're working with exclusively. We're going to be working not with Corpus Christi, but I guess the young man's out there right now. So we're looking at this real quick. Corpus Christi, two types. We're looking at auctions and NODs. So NODs, notice the default. NOT, notice a trustee sale. So there is a process. There's judicial and then non-judicial, right? So it just depends. But there's properties out there. There's probates are awesome, right? There's free and clear. There's tired landlords are usually absentee. A lot of the gurus of the past are even still doing it, maybe, but they're saying, hey, go out and get an absentee list and make a bunch of calls. And you're really looking for the tired landlords, about 1%. So that'd be like 1 out of 100, right? Kind of like a needle in a haystack. And then when you do, you're going through it all these investors they're absentee owners, right? So they're investors, they own property. They're going to kick your ass. They're going to kick 9 times out of 10. They're going to be beating you up down the road if you're new to this business. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share a couple things here. We're going to Corpus Christi. If you see $210,000, 20% equity, 161.56. Let's find something with about 47%. Oh, I like that number. Let's go the 231, 69% equity. And look at that property. That's not bad. In California, man, that'd be probably about $400,000-$600,000 property. But in this one here, it's estimated value. You got 69% equity. They've owned it for a while. Original loan. So let's see. Let's go down here. Property 1,500 square foot, 1996. Right. So when you're finding some of these deals, it doesn't matter what it is. Just remember that Sub-2 doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm going after Sub-2. It has to be a buy and hold where I'm going to turn it into a seller finance or turn it into a lease option. Sub-2 is Sub-2. Sub-2 for me, the reason I tapped into Sub-2 and got involved in Sub-2 and others around me got involved. And when we do this business is basically just to lock up the property. Because when you're a bird dog, you can get circumvented, right? You got knuckleheads out there that if you bring in the deal, they, for whatever reason, don't pay you, right? And if that's happened to you, that sucks. If it hasn't happened to you, it's going to happen to you and it's going to suck, okay? So in that journey or in your journey or anybody's journey, you're going to move to wholesale. Okay, I'm going to start wholesaling, right? That becomes a one-trick pony at the end of the day, right? Because if it doesn't fit that criteria, then you're going to have to skip the deal and move on. But if you have more tricks in your arsenal and you have, some more things and more tools in your tool belt, you're going to be able to do what? You're going to say, you know what? I can get you a little bit more money. But at the same token, the reason why you can use Sub-2 as a powerful tool, and yes, there's novations that come out, right? There's there's options. You can do a memorandum of agreement to go ahead and lock that son of a bitch up, right? And then record it. But that's the thing. You got to remember, they got to get a notary and they got to sign it. And then you got to let them know you're going to record that to protect your interest. So they'll then go around your back and sell it to someone else, or someone else comes and said, hey, I'll pay you $20,000 more, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, if you get rid of X or ABC company. And that happens a lot, right? Because the business is what it is. It's unscrupulous, and they're gonna do what they need to do. There's money involved here, right? So reason I got into the Sub-2 stuff and reason it works is to lock this stuff up. So this way, if you're going to write a contract, it's one thing. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and wholesale it. Every contract is assignable by law unless it says non-assignable. So a lot of agents and brokers are getting savvy to that and putting non-assignable in their contracts, blah, blah, blah. But, let's be honest. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for investors buying up all these properties, we still be in a shithole of situation with the shitty Obama and all that good stuff going on back in the day, right? And everybody had 2 or 3 jobs and shit, and then the market went to shit. And, a lot of people lost their homes. There's people that actually killed themselves, got divorced, and died. It's all bullshit. But at the end of the day, check this out. sub two works. So I started going, man, I'm tired of getting circumvented. They don't want to pay me, then okay, I'll lock up a contract and then try to sell it off to another investor. My thing is like anybody else, and I want to go ahead and fix and flip this. Hey, why don't you just let me do all the work? Let me do all the work, and I'll take a lower split. I don't care. I just want to move forward. And they would like, no, I want you just, I'll give you 5, 10, 15,000 bucks, right? And I'm like, well, how does that work? I'll just do a contract. You can sign the contract over to me. It's just like the commercial business, right? And commercial business is done all the time. Options, lease options, put some money down, execute. Trump did. How do you think he grew his business, right? He put money into it and put a bunch of money, and then he sell that off to another investor or bring investors to the table and then actually execute the option. Same shit, just doing it with single family. So as you move forward and you're doing this, for me, I was like, man, I don't want to get circumvented. How do I lock this up and be able to not get circumvented? So sub two started coming down the wire. But I also, before that happened, I got delicious water. before that happened, I was looking for some mentors, right? So there was the Ron the Graham, that old dog, Al Laurie. I get it, man. He's probably, I don't know if he's still alive. I think he's like 80 or 90 now. And then there was the Carlton Sheets, and there's the Lee Lou, like, I forgot his name. He's on the boats with a bunch of women and stuff, late night infomercials and going, shit, you could become a real estate mogul and shit. And I was like, is that possible? That can't be real. This got to be bullshit. But once I figured it out and read a bunch of books and I studied, and I kind of like, it's the thing that a lot of people are lacking right now. Critical thinking. You got to do some critical thinking, do some research. It takes a little bit of time, but it's all right. But you don't want to do so much that it kind of makes you stagnant. You go, oh man, you're going to talk yourself out of doing this. I don't have a chance. Then, it's kind of like, I got to work, you got to ride that little middle, I guess, of the road. I don't like the middle of the road thing. I don't like riding the fence, but there's a happy medium in there, right? Where you're going to study and study and study and go, if this is real, then I'm going to do this stuff. Okay. So once you figure out that it's real and other people are doing it, then you go, shit, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And never put limiting, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a governor. It could be a governor, right? It's kind of governing you. Hey, I can't go past 60 miles per hour, right? Unless I take off that governor and I go as fast as I want, blow up the engine or whatever, right? It's kind of the same thing. Don't put limiting beliefs on yourself. Because look, you don't know what you're capable of. You won't know until you go for it. You got nothing to freaking lose anyways. You're only on this planet one time. So why not take a chance? Go for it. What do you have to lose? And yeah, it could be, you're going to go through blood, sweat, and tears anyways, the regular life with JOB, all kinds of other shit. So why not go through it and be an entrepreneur and follow your dreams and aspirations? Because real estate's not for everybody. But at the end of the day, if you got somebody like myself and us and AHA, Americans Helping Americans, AMP Live, we're all coming together to help you. And it's an actual cause and mission, right? So therefore, our whole goal is to help one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, right? And we're doing our part to get America back on track, and we're doing our part together with you and others across the United States. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's more of a selection process. So it's not like, hey, if you got a pulse and you're alive, come aboard. It's not worth the headaches. For me, anyways. For other people, they're okay with that. And so that's the difference between what we do and what others do. I guarantee you nobody does what we do on this planet Earth, because they just don't want to. It's not worth it for them. So ours, but I know it can be scaled in a different manner, and that's what we're doing across the United States of America. And I want to get into this. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm going to suck down some more coffee real quick so I can go on some more tangents. But sub two was to lock up the properties so I can actually put it into my LLC or corporation. It becomes a freaking asset. Then the LLC owns the trust, and and they're beneficiaries of the property. The loan may stay where it's going to stay. And there are some laws and provisions. For a full disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial analyst. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm not a CPA. So this is for entertainment purposes. So take it for what you will and how you want to do it, and use it however you want to. Definitely go out and use those mechanisms to help you in your business, because you're going to need them. That's just good business. But there are certain things you have to do. I'm not going to get into all those little small details, because when it's inside the Facebook group, I'll do it. Or if it's in a Zoom call and it's private, I'm going to share it with you. Or if you come aboard, guess what? All that beautiful stuff is going to be shared with you, and no one can ever take away that knowledge. At the end of the day, you're going to have it. You're going to have everything from contracts to the marketing to the agreements to what exit strategy to kind of take or not kind of take, but which exit strategies can we take, right? Instead of just the one-trick pony of wholesale, you got one, two, three, four, five, six plus. Yeah, you can go sub two, you can go seller finance, you can go rent to own. There's all kinds of, you can just go a straight option. You can do a marketing agreement if you wanted to. And no, you don't need a license to do all this good stuff because you're acting in the capacity of a principal, which is a lot different. But if you want your real estate license, you can make a lot more money because you can do real estate investing. And if you can't lock up the deal, then put on your real estate hat, disclose, and go list the son of a bitch and make some money and help out your clients. So either way you look at it, you're going to be able to help out your clients in the private sector and in the public sector. And if you have your license, you can do both. So that's where VIP Execs comes down the wire. If you're interested in hanging your license, or you're just tired of getting beat up in the industry, or you haven't found a home, reach out to us. I'll connect you with VIP Execs, and you can go ahead and have a chit chat with them. As far as AHA and AMP Live, that's the private sector. If you wanted to rock and roll and do some business, click the links down below. We'll talk, we'll chat, set up a private meeting with myself and others, and we'll go through it. So we got a lot of exciting stuff that's dropping in regards to the corporate credit and zero credit and all that good stuff. How we're actually maneuvering our one-on-one mentoring and coaching with interactive mentoring program. And a lot of things are starting to shift and change, and we're adjusting to that, right? So take advantage of it. But Sub 2 helps you lock up that property in a better way, as well as novations. You can do that, make some more money on top of that. So I know that that's a thing. I thought it was a novelty when it was coming out because people didn't do that. They did it back in the 90s, right? And but it's like anything else. People say, well, Sub 2 has been around forever, blah, 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 the Reaganomics and stuff. It's only good when the market does this and it does that, or when you want to take over and buy and hold seller financing deals. That's untrue, right? The exit strategy, it can be. It's used for that. Fuck, I got some coffee on my shirt. All right. And the exit strategies for Sub 2 is don't matter. Every property, lock that son of a bitch up. You can still wholesale a Sub 2 deal. You just got more control. You have the actual asset in your LLC. You can borrow against it. You can get a loan against it. You can do all that good stuff. And it protects the seller, protects you. Because at the end of the day, why would you not? That's like working. You can go and work for a whole year and not get paid. Who the hell in their right mind is going to do that, right? Sellers will ask, well, who's going to do this? And what about that? And what happens with this and that, man? If you got money invested in the damn deal, are you really going to walk away from all that juicy cash? No. Are you taking advantage of the seller? No. You're helping them. When nobody else is coming to the table to make up their back payments, or maybe they don't want to pay an agent, or maybe they don't want to, fix up the property and have 50 grand to do that, and they're just like, man, I don't want to have a double payment because it's a job relocation. I don't want to have this and that. There's mechanisms for whatever they're wanting to do. Your job as a real estate investor, our job as a real estate investor, right, is to put together solutions for that seller and then provide them those solutions. Now, if you do this right, because we got some mentees that are on board and you're going through that process, of the lead gen form and things of that nature, and talking to sellers and rebuttals and everything. And if you do it right and you get good at it, most of the sellers are going to tell you everything you need to know. And they'll share with you on how to sell them, literally, right? And there's also that part of the art of the deal when you go to the house and you start walking the house and building a relationship, and you sit down and you start working a deal and you drop those seeds in the back of their mind subconsciously, and then they start selling you on the same stuff, going, yeah, hey, Eric, and, Jim, if you can do this, and this, I think we got a deal. And it's okay. Drop your ego, rock and roll, and let it roll, right? Because it is their idea now. And if they have the idea and they're selling you, you're moving towards closing, right? That's part of the art of the deal. It's part of the AMP Live method. It's hard, direct selling with high trust selling mixed together, and you got what's called the art of the deal, the AMP Live method. I love it. I enjoy it. It works, right? And it works like mad. I hate to use the word magic, right? There's no such thing, or maybe there is. Who knows, right? Magic the Gathering and shit, right? And I'm Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings. I'm just kidding. The truth is, it feels like magic, right? Sometimes it feels like magic when you're saying a couple of words. We have on our lead gen form 3 magical questions, right? And the reason I say magic is because when I was trying to close deals and trying to get my closing ratios up to, a good, 30, 60, 70, 80% ratio, the bottom line was that when I was saying things, I was not closing for some reason, right? Trying to make it up. You probably know this if you've been through this, or maybe you're jamming, you're just badass at it, and that's awesome. So congratulations. If not, trying to figure it out, trying to wing it, trying to do this, say that, watch this YouTube video, watch this TikTok thing, try to go with, well, that's not me. This is me. This is who I have to be. It's kind of like the artiste, right? The artist is the artist, right? But the artists are the ones that are starving at the end of the day, right? But hey, hopefully they create some awesome art, and then when they die, they're worth a bunch of money. So wouldn't you rather be worth a bunch of money now? Is what I learned is saying, look, Hal would say a certain thing, I'd listen to him, and then I'd practice it and practice it. I'd read certain lines, and I'd practice and practice, and it didn't sound like me. It sounded like some weird, I don't know, just didn't sound like me, right? Like some of these words that popped out of my mouth would be like, the articulation of like a professor of some sort, right? Or someone. I was just weird. It wasn't me. It's not me. But when I said it and I shut my mouth and gave them total silence and just waited and waited and waited, it was funny. They'd pick up the pen, sign the contract. That's it. The other mistake I was making is staying there and chatting and this and that. Then their mind starts going, oh shit, did I make a decision? Did I make a bad decision? Buyer's remorse or whatever, seller's remorse. So tip, get the contract, rock and roll, go over it a few times, let them know what's going to transpire within the next 24 to 72 hours. Start packing up your stuff, rock and roll. Thank you very much. Get out of the house and then go digest down the street somewhere. Go to the coffee shop and go and run that whole scenario through your brain from the time you talked to them till you showed up at the property, till you walked the house, how you walked the house, what went good, what went bad, what sucked, what was awesome, and then rinse and repeat all the good stuff, chop off all the shit, right? And now you got yourself a rinse and repeat recipe, a recipe that you can use for yourself. And that's something that we do with all mentees, whether they come aboard. Now, it always works when they first start doing it, right? But as they maneuver, they can change it any way they want. But I always say, just become the expert first, right? Learn how to make that omelet, that delicious, juicy omelet first, right? You're going to break some eggs. You're going to mess up some stuff. It's not going to taste exactly like my omelet or our omelets when we make them. But eventually you'll get better and better. And you'll go, shit, awesome. Then you can start, hey, chopping down the process. How can I make this omelet faster if that's what you want to do? How can I add some, bell peppers and ham? I don't like freaking, turkey. I want some ham. I don't like bell peppers. I want something else, right? You can do it and it's still going to taste delicious and awesome, right? It's the same premise. Think franchise, McDonald's and all that good stuff, right? They don't fail, people fail because there's processes and systems in place. Same thing. But I always say the art of the deal is what's going to get you through every cycle because it's how good you are. It's about building you. Tech is just going to be an adjustment. That's the only thing that ever changes is technology. Because look at this. We can do this stuff right now, and you can see my mug, and we can rock and roll, and I could be anywhere in the country. You could be anywhere in the country or the world and watch this stuff, right? And you can watch it actually live. So I forgot about all this good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and share some more here. But we can actually do this live. And before, guess what? It costs an arm and a leg to do this stuff. And it wasn't possible unless you're a huge, big-ass company. All right, so here we go. So we're going to go ahead and you probably can't see it. I guess I had it off. So there you go. This is the property right here. Go ahead and scan that real quick or whatever it is. But so this property right here, I'm going to dip into it real quick. Okay, so this property here, doesn't matter what it is. This could be a pre-foreclosure. It could be a probate. It could be a for sale by owner. It could be an expired listing. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be specifically, oh my God, this is a foreclosure and it's just for sub-2 or seller finance, or maybe it's an expired and that's just a sub-2 with seller finance because they're going to want too much for their property, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. They've had this for a while. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up through Zillow, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't want to take too much time. But we're going to go, where's this at? Go here. Boom. I'm going to share this instead. So hopefully you can see that. So you can see the property there. We're going to pull it up, and then we're going to go with this. We always like to take a look at the area. And this is how you find them. It's very simple. You can do this in 5-10 minutes. All right, take a look. Nice little area of Corpus Christi. You go back, and we'll go to the Zillow. I like Zillow and Redfin. Take a look at Zillow. Pull it up. It's about 1,500 square foot property. Probably a nice little first-time home buyer property or a good rental. Rent's estimate's about $1,895. You can still get these under $300,000. Anything under $300,000, you can be rocking and rolling depending on the rent. The rent's about $18 and some change. So we'll scroll down here, $255, $160 per square foot. See what comps are around. Last 10 years, it keeps going up. What do we got? So 1,500 square foot, 1996. Garage is attached. Cooling, there's no data, but I'm going to assume if it's built in 1996, should be some central heat and air. Lot size is good. See some more facts here. So this thing sold a while ago. Taxes aren't too bad. And here you can always take a look, see what's going on here if there's more sales. But we're going to go back to this here and take a look. Let's take a look at the sales, right? I want to look at the history. So no hit. Okay, history. They bought this in 2009, and then comps. Excuse me. Look at the market. Should be okay. They don't got any data for us. Just because there are going to be some states that are non-disclosed and disclosed states, right? Texas is one of those non-disclosed states where it's a little bit harder. You got to dig, and hit different types of softwares to find the actual data, as well as I would suggest get a relationship with the title company if you're going to give them business, or give them some business so they can hook you up. And yes, in those non-disclosed states, then I'm not a fan of it. But if you can tolerate it, go for it. Find yourself a real estate agent, get them trained, turn them into a unicorn agent, so they'll help you and work for you and work with you and build a team that way. I'm going to go into some comps real quick. I'm going to go about 3/4 of a mile because I'm going to underwrite this very quickly, right? See if there's money in it. It's 95,000. Obviously, it's worth 200 and some change, so there's obviously some equity in it. I'm going to pull up some of this stuff here, 1590. So I'm going to look for something. I want some apples to apples, right? And oranges to oranges. So we got 523. These are 523, 2,000, a little too big. 15, 16 is a little closer to the 1590 square foot. It sold in 2023. Sold for 240. Cool. 12s, 13. It's a couple hundred square foot off. I wouldn't be too happy about that. Let me see. We'll go a little higher. 13 might be a little better. I might do that one. And then we got 15. Here's 1653. I'll do that one. As long as it's in 2023. Okay. So it's this year, 253,000. Lot size is cool. If this was like built in 2000s and up, I wouldn't use it because this house was built in 1996. So it's kind of at the cusp. Is what I like to call cosmetic rehab. 1,500 square foot. That one's cool. What do we got? 2023. So we're cruising up. This is what you call kind of like the average method. I like to go apples to apples and find a property that's almost exactly to the same one that's been rehabbed, and then go with that and say that is the price I'm going to use. That's the property or ARV that I'm going to use. Then I'd probably knock off about maybe 5 to 7% in the opposite direction, and then I'd start working with that particular number, using that as my number, and then going backwards and eliminating the rehab depending on the location. And whether it's on a corner lot, a busy street, all that good stuff, the demographics, what's in the area, is it a rental property, is it fix and flip, is it suburbia, is it something, is it private home ownership? All those are factors, right? You got to think like an appraiser, you got to think like an agent, you got to think like a broker, and understand how to put together a comparable market analysis to come up with your ARV or after repair value. Okay, so that was a lot. All right, so I think the coffee's kicking in. So 13 some change, 1,400 square foot. There we go. Another one. So these are all averaging like in the 200 and some change. So it's not bad. 13 and some change. Keep on rolling. 16, 22. I'm not going to do that one. Here's 1,500 square foot, 2023. So the good thing is that there's a lot of sales. If there's a lot of sales, it's going to be easy peasy to sell off to an investor if you're going to wholesale that thing. If you're going to fix it and flip it, that's even better because then you got a lot of sales, right? It's going to move. Just depends on how many days on the market it's going to take to unload something like that. So for shits and giggles, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because we got a bunch of them. So if we keep rolling, it's probably going to be anywhere from what it was looking at, about 235 to 245. Okay. So you take your 235 and your 245, break up the old trusty calculator, or break it out on your phone or your laptop or desktop. And we got, let's say 245 we're going to use for the ARV. And then we're going to minus some repairs, right? So in this particular area, I'd probably go 20 to 25 bucks a square foot, and it's about 1,500 and some square foot, 1,500 and some change. So 245 is the ARV. So let's say we got 1,550 times, I'll use 25. We're at about 38. We're 38,750. I'm just going to roll it up to 40 grand. We got 245. 1, 2, 3 minus say 40 grand. In repairs, and that's just a full rehab. We're talking about bathrooms and restrooms and tile, the floors, the molding, the paint, a little love to the backyard, a little love to the front for some curb appeal. And we're at about 205,000 as our base, right? Now, for all your wholesalers or for the wholesalers that are out there, right? They're going to take that and go, well, times 70% minus, right? 70%, you're going to be at, well, shit, I got to offer 143,500. They bought it for 95 in 2009. Now, who's going to want to do that, right? Unless they're in a stress situation or they really need to sell. So there are some things that you have to look at, and that's probably going to be the 70 cents on the dollar. And then if you go higher, 75, 80, 85, which you can do, right, with sub 2. So you're not stuck at the 70 cents or 73 or 75 cents minus repairs, right? And that's what the wholesale, because you got to be able to make some money and to be able to wholesale it off to another investor, you can go a little higher. If you can actually figure out how to figure out those numbers with sub 2 and go, man, I can go subject to existing financing, and you can still, right? You can still hit the target of an investor and saying, look, I need to make $50,000, $60,000 on a fix and flip, right? Or maybe I need to make 10, 15, 20% return on investment. Those are only two things and only two ways that an investor is really going to look at a property. Some people like to go old school and say, I need these numbers. I need $55,000 net out of every deal. I'm happy. Or I need $150,000 in equity for every deal, because then that's going to work for my numbers. And then there's others saying, nope, I need 10, 15, 20%. If you got 20 and 30% and they're East Coast, West Coast, and they're looking for that, they're looking for unicorns. Hey, if you can find one, cool, good luck. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Midwest, it's going to probably be 20, 30% return investment because the properties are 100, something like this, right? Anything under $300,000 is, it's going to be what it's going to be. If it's in Southern California, Northern California, it's under 300,000. Hey, you got yourself a winner. All right. So keep that in mind. $143,500 would be the offer. And if we're going sub 2, guess what? We can go higher. Why can we go higher? I'm not going to get into it too much because that's going to be way beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. But how do you find them? See how, and it doesn't matter. How do you find them? Right here. You can go to Craigslist. You can go to Facebook Marketplace. You can go to, PropWire. You can go to PropStream. You can go to Privy. You can go to Batch. You can go to REI Reply. You can go to REI, whoever deals with data, right? You can go there and online, right? Because if they're already advertising their property, you can go on Zillow. There's going to be a lot of people who are going on Zillow and they got what? They got off-market properties. They're on Zillow and maybe they're like, hey, this shit's been listed for 6 months and it's not sold. Maybe it's at 40, 50, 60, 80 cents on the dollar. Approach them. Go for it. What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Go for it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give you one extra little juicy tip right here. There's the property right here. I don't endorse any of this hard money or private money, but if you want to go for it, it's out there. They got the DCRS loans, and then they got the hard money and private money. If you're interested in that stuff, reach out, PM me. I'll give you a list. I'll give you a contact. I'll connect you with my lender and all that good stuff and a few others. If you're interested in that, go for it, but let me know. I'll do a little PM. Then I'm going to go right here. Where did it go? Okay. So if you can see this, you might not be able to see this, but I'm going to share this screen with you. It's called Quality Loan Service Company. And then there's Alta Source, your one source, right? You can go there. You can probably see that as well. And some of these companies, I'm not going to get into, but I'll get into in another training on Saturday. I'll show you how to use those, okay? And it's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to find some low-hanging fruit and some golden nuggets out there in your area if they're there, right? So Corpus Christi, I know there is. Texas, all these other states, properties are available throughout the United States right now. The market is adjusting and shifting. In a shifting. All right, let me go ahead and do this real quick. Share something with you. That's a QR code. Go ahead and register for Saturday. Some Subto-Master training. I'm going to turn off that screen share and click that link or scan that. And also, let me see. I believe there's. Let me go over here real quick. So I'm probably going to disappear real quick, but I'll give you a link for Saturday. Saturday, we got some training going on. It's going to be Subto-Master training. I believe it's right here. Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead and go there and then sign up. It's either going to be a link to a Zoom or it's going to be a link to the Amp Live survey. Either one will get you in. Just make sure you do that. I think I can share this tab real quick. I'll go ahead and share that tab with you. Turn it on. It'll be right there. So it's the 16th, this Saturday. Go for about an hour and a half. There'll be a link too for some Q&A, and you'll also be able to be a live chat as well. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Put my mug up here again. So we'll go from there. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. All right. So take a look at that. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out. Promo still for the rest of September for the 30 days to it's the coaching with interactive mentoring. Sorry, it's getting late and I'm hungry too. So I want to get some food in my gut. All right, so register now. Lock in your spot, right? Live coaching versus mentoring. They both work. Depends on where you're at on the spectrum, okay? Coaching will only get you so far, but then when you're ready for it, hey, one-on-one mentoring, we do both. We love to work with you in any capacity. We're not everybody we're not everything to everybody. Trust me, right? We will turn down people. We've turned down people in the past and all kinds of other stuff. It is what it is. It is a selection process. I enjoy it that way, even though others tell me not to. I should just have, everybody who has a pulse come aboard, right? But the one-on-one, it is what it is. Coaching with interactive mentoring, guess what? You don't have to have a pulse. You can be a zombie and come aboard. It's okay. All right. But we'll get that zombie and get you fired up and kick the zombie out of your ass. All right. Register now. Lock in your spot. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do this right here as well. We got some Subto-Master training. Scan that right there. I'm going to drop this. This is only good probably for the next week, but go ahead and scan that right there. That's a QR code. It's usually about $6-7 but it's going to save you about 50%, 50 cents. Yeah, it's going to take 50 cents off of the top. Excuse me. That's the deal of the year, right? More like 50%, right? But we're not doing any ShamWow stuff here, so we're not going to do $19.99 and this and that, and you're going to get some of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. No, it's all bullshit. I don't like any of that stuff. But maybe when someone else replaces me, they could do the ShamWow action. But that's not what I'm going to do. So, and I like cracking myself up, obviously, too. So, all right, so here we go. Captions, boom, boom. One-on-one mentoring, scan that. Scan this sunbuck right there. This rock and roll, and all what you do. I'm going to wrap up here because I'm going to get me some meat and some potatoes. Yeehaw! Right, and finish up this coffee. I think this espresso is kicking in, and I need to hydrate. I'm just kidding. All right, so rock and roll and all what you do. I'm Eric. I'm your host of the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Tune in. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so Wellness Wednesday. Let's talk about Wellness Wednesday and the pulse of real estate, right? I'm going to give you the Eric report and kind of share with you what we're doing, what others are doing across the United States of America, because I always like to know. Inquiring minds want to know, and then I'll share it with you. Thursday, again, if we're out in the field, I love to do it. I love to get a little. Those sometimes need to be edited and things of that nature for people's privacy and things that are happening out in the field. So if that happens, that's usually about 2:00 or towards the afternoon, evening. Definitely be here. Come back for Friday highlights, right? We're going to be out in the field. So 2:00 and then 6 p.m. out in the field talking. It could be here, anywhere, right? It could be any of the spots that I choose, obviously in Southern California. And then, hey, I'd love to maybe, if you're in California, let's meet. Let's get some coffee or some lunch or dinner or something like that. Or maybe get together and do a meetup or whatever and just pick each other's brains, which would be awesome. And that's that. And then Saturday, do not miss Saturday's training, 2 p.m., okay? 2 p.m. is going to help you. We're also going to be out in the field, too. So the training might be at a location, might be at a property, or it might be in an undisclosed location where we just do these live trainings, okay? So take advantage of it. Rock and roll in all what you do. United we stand, right? Don't listen to anybody's shit. PMA, positive mental attitude, kill NMA, negative mental attitudes with positive mental attitude. Usually takes about 2 or 3 times to chop someone down with PMA. And if it does not chop them down, they don't start changing their attitude, then it's okay. Walk away. Okay, because this is going to be a virus and they're going to get to you, and then it's going to get inside you. It's going to fuck your mind up. And I always say, and I'm true to this too, right? Is that only you can fuck up your day. Only you can have a bad day because only you have control of your own mind. So whether it's stubbing your toe or getting pissed off or someone else being pissed off, it's okay. Enlighten their day. Put a smile on their face by smiling and killing them with PMA. So rock and roll in every way. Rock and roll every day, right? In every way, you're getting better and better in every way. That makes sense. I think that's in Think and Grow Rich somewhere, right? But don't quote me. Paraphrasing. Anyways, here we go. Signing off. See you tomorrow, Wellness Wednesday. See you Friday highlights, and then Saturday. Don't forget to jump aboard our Sunday sermon and Monday, right? Mindset Money Monday. So we're rocking and rolling. Let's jump aboard and do some deals because we are in the business of doing deals. We're going to do business with you. We're going to do deals with you. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and you're just going, man, where do I go? What are we going to do? What am I going to do? How, am I going back to my job, or am I going to go back to nursing? I can go back to, an electrician job or whatever it is. Or maybe you love your career as well. If you love your career, that's awesome too. You got to figure out where to put all that money you're making, right? Put it in real estate. So let's talk, let's chat. Click those links down below, QR code. I'm going to go ahead and actually take that off there real quick. You can actually go right there too and register. Subto Facebook group. And we'll talk to you soon. You have an awesome, awesome day. Don't forget to click the link, register, and we'll